We are so excited to be talking to more MVNU alumni today, former WNZR staff members, and they are all with River Radio. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
So let's introduce them. We have Josh Hooper, class of 2002. I have to start with you because, you know, you're the oldest. Sorry. I'm
Thank
older
you.
than you, though. And then we have Josh Pollock. And what class were you in?
2014.
2014?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, just recent grad of 2025. Well, let's go around our table here and tell us when you came to MVNU, what brought you here, what made you decide to attend. And Josh Hooper, we'll start with you.
Yeah. I went to MVNU the fall of 1998, last century. And I went to MVNU because I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. And of the places I visited and places I researched, I found that MVNU was the one place I could get involved immediately doing that. So that's what brought me there and was able to do that. And it was an incredible experience, and obviously been able to make a career out of it. But that's what brought me there. Plus, the spiritual side of Mount Vernon Nazarene University was really important to me. And so I was glad to go to a university that had both a great communication and radio program, and then great spiritual focus and acumen in all of the areas of the university. So.
Okay. And so you graduated in 2002. What was your major?
My major was broadcast communications.
Okay. All right. Josh Pollock, what brought you to MVNU?
Josh Hooper. So he, not to date him anymore, but he was my high school radio teacher.
Oh my goodness.
And what started as a joke class turned into a career passion of mine. He was the first radio mentor that I kind of had that really kind of built into me. And I knew that that's where he went. And so I wanted to follow the footsteps of that because I looked up to him and wanted to kind of follow that same line. And so I was familiar because of that. Then I think I remember taking a trip and meeting Joe and yourself and just feeling like that was home.
Awesome. Mike Basko, class of 2024.
So I started in 2020. That was a crazy time to start. But what brought me there initially was I grew up Nazarene. I went to a Nazarene church for my teenage years, and I was super active in Nazarene Bible quizzing. And so I had tournaments at MVNU. And so I took some tours while I was there and was like, seems like it would be a cool place to go because I want to, you know, go somewhere Nazarene. And I ended up doing meetings with you and Joe to see what the communications department was all about. And I thought, let's give this a try. I think I'll like it. And it ended up being a great decision.
And Judah.
Yeah, I came to MVNU, that was 2021. And Mama Keith actually made me go. I wanted to go to Ohio State. And my mom's like, hey, you should get your generalized classes out of the way. And then if you don't like MVNU, transfer. And so I was like, yeah, forget this place. I'm going to get my general degree and I'm going to scoot off to Ohio State. Obviously, that didn't happen. I met Joe, I think it was new student orientation in like June or July. And I had no idea what I was going to do. And I talked to Joe, and I was super intrigued by the comm program, but I wanted nothing to do with radio. I was like, radio is like, that's like 1995 style stuff. Like, I don't even want to do anything related to it.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's for Hooper specifically, actually. But yeah, I just got involved like freshman year and I fell in love with it. And yeah, here we are 4 years later. Pretty crazy.
We are excited to talk to some MVNU alumni and former Big Blue Crew members, although We didn't really have the big blue crew when Josh Hooper was there. So we'll just say WNZR staff members. We're excited to have them. They all are with River Radio, which we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But we have Josh Hooper, class of 2002, Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, the baby of the group, just graduated in 2025. So you all had a communication major, but the name of that major kind of changed over the years. So Josh, what was it called? Josh Hooper, what was it called when you were here, when you graduated?
As far as I remember, because it's so long ago, I think it was broadcast communications. Like it was radio, and that's it. And I know it's way different now.
All right, Pollock, how about you?
Yeah, I believe mine was technically radio and TV broadcasting.
Okay. And Mike and Judah, were you both what do we call it now? Communication and digital media?
Yeah, we're not ancient. We were up to date.
Listen.
Well, you change it over the years because, that's good. Well, I want to get a life update from all of you. Tell us where you are. You're all working for the River. I call it, is that correct to call it River Radio? Yeah. Josh? Okay, so Hooper, let's start with you because I think you're over the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
Talk about your position and what's going on in life.
I'm the chief content officer at the River. I'm the program director, and I'm the morning show co-host. And so Mike is our morning show producer. I am over the digital department. However, that just means Josh Pollock and I interface a lot. Josh Pollock is our digital director, so he handles it, and Judah's in that department. So yeah, they're all on the tree, but each one's doing their own thing, which I'm really excited about. My wife and I met at MVNU, and we've been married now for we've been married for 24 years, and it's crazy. Our daughter just turned 21. She took a visit at MVNU, ended up doing cosmetology. Our oldest son is a senior. He visited MVNU and is considering it now. My middle son is scheduling a visit with MVNU for next week. And then our youngest son is a sophomore in high school. So we had all our kids right in a row, and in a blink we'll be empty nesters and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
There's a blessing to that. I promise. We can talk, later about that. Okay. So how long have you been with the River?
I've been here for 15 years.
Wow. That's incredible. And it has just exploded. How many stations do you have across the state of Ohio?
Yeah, we have 15 frequencies now. And 2 years ago, we had 4. And God has seen fit to take the ministry and explode it, expand it. And more and more people are learning who Jesus really is, thanks to his work and the work of our donors and business partners to help spread his word through the River. And we couldn't be more excited.
That's awesome. We're talking with some MVNU and WNZR alumni today. Josh Pollock, class of 2014. Give us a life update. Josh Hooper told us you're digital director. Is that your title with the River?
Yeah, so I'm a couple of different things, just like Hooper is. So I'm the digital director. I also am the podcast director, and then recently have been given the responsibility as brand director. I also co-host one of our successful podcasts, the Rivalry Podcast, that has been crazy to kind of see grow this past season. We had some really cool opportunities with that last season, and this year it's just been blown out of the water. So those are my roles here at the station. Is mostly all of it is digital based. I've been here. I think this next year will be year 7 for me at the River.
Wow.
So
wow. And life update. You have a beautiful wife.
I do. Her name is Laurel. She owns a baking business. So I am well fed at home with all of that. I am the unofficial taste tester of every single thing she makes. I'm not sad about it. Nobody here is either because I bring it in all the time. And it's gone by like 11. So yeah, we live in Mansfield, still close to home. We help run a nonprofit down there that helps feed people in need every Saturday that we really love being a part of and doing. And helping to cook all the food and just provide that service to people in a community that we love. And it's just been awesome. Yeah.
I love that. Love it. Okay, Mike Basko, you're part of the morning team, right?
I am, yes. I'm the morning show producer, as Hooper said. So I'm with him and Hannah, the other morning show hosts, every day for a few hours. And we get to do the morning show. And basically, I'm there to make life easier for Josh and Hannah, whether that is contributing on the air, whether that is organizing the show, coming up with topics to talk about, taking extra callers, whatever they need. That's where I am kind of the plug for that. And so that has been cool. I've been doing that now for about 4 months. I came here in July. I spent a year in between graduation and starting here at the River back in Virginia, where I'm from, living close to my family and working at Spirit FM there, another Christian radio station. And God called me out here to Ohio, and here I am. I now live in Gahanna, and I'm also, very excited to be back here with a lot of my college friends, including Judah. And so it's just been really cool to be able to see that. And there was a time that I thought like I would never, ever come back to Ohio and certainly never live here. But here we are. It's so God has a funny sense of humor.
Yeah, never say never when God's listening. All right, Judah. So you just graduated in 2025. When did you start at the River?
I started back in August, so this is like third month. I'm not very good at math, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and so tell us about your job.
So I'm the videographer here, and that kind of looks like several different things. So I produce the podcast JP was referring to earlier, the rivalry, on my handle, like editing that and helping get that posted on YouTube and different social media platforms. And then we also have a whole YouTube channel for the River where we interview different artists, get their stories and stuff like that. And so I handle editing that, creating strategy for that, posting all that. We have different people come in and use this podcast studio that we're in. We actually just had a guy in earlier. And so I help them like actually record the podcast, get the footage to them, get it posted, all that stuff. So it varies day to day.
We are talking with some MVNU and WNZR alumni today. So excited to have 4 members of the River Radio team: Josh Hooper, class of 2002, Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, recent grad in 2025. So I guess we'll start with you, Hooper. How did your time at WNZR and MVNU prepare you for what you are doing now?
I mean, my goodness, how much time do you have? I was so blessed to be at MVNU for my spiritual formation and continuing to learn about the world from a biblical worldview. So that was A1, so important. But for my career at WNZR, I learned how to do everything. And that was for my career. My first job was in news. I hate news. I'm not good at news, but I knew how to do it well enough that I could get a job somewhere. And I feel like I had so many tools in my tool belt when I left WNZR, and I have used every single one of them and honed them in my career since then. And so like that's the influence. It gave me a livelihood, and it gave me that livelihood still rooted and based in spiritual truth. And I couldn't have asked for anything more. I was able to do so much leaving. I still remember she became my mother-in-law. I didn't know it at the time, but I went to the student services to work on my resume. And she was like, I just filled this thing out. And she said, "You've done all of this? You haven't just learned it, you've done it?" It's like, yeah, I'm doing all of these things. She was blown away. And then she was happy I married her daughter. So that worked.
Well, it's kind of cool because we have Hooper, who was part of some of my earlier years as station manager. And then you fast forward a little bit to Josh Pollock, who graduated in 2014. By that point, we were doing video with sports, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Pollock, talk a little bit about how your time here prepared you for what you are doing now.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo a lot of what Hooper said. it's funny because I went into WNZR with zero passion at all for doing anything digital, really. It was all, I wanted to be radio, I wanted to be on the mic, on air, doing all that. So that's what I hyper focused on. And now I don't really do that at all. It is, I still do sporadically, but it's not what I thought back then. But I think what WNZR prepped me for was just being willing to do everything and learn as much as I could, and having the opportunity to do that, because I don't think I'd be able to be what I'm doing what I'm doing now if I hadn't have gone through that at NZR, being able to be a part of video team, or during the summers when you're working summers and you're on air doing the morning thing or the afternoon drive, but you're also doing production and you're also getting interviews and you're running video. I mean, you're doing everything. And so it really helped me to just be versatile with what my skill set was.
So Mike Basko, 2024 grad, Judah Keith, 2025 grad. You've been here just recently with our program. So how did it prepare you?
I think the first thing I always think of is the practical experience. You know, like my first time taking like the radio practicum, I was getting practice already, even though I wasn't on the air. You know, I was getting practice of what it really would be like. And then the next semester I was on the air already, and I was like, I'm allowed to do this. They let me talk on the air. And so it got to the point where I was like, this is really cool. Not only do I have like these years of practical experience, because it's all about like when you are in the job market, it's like, okay, what have you done? Like, how much experience do you have? And it's hard for people who don't have that practical experience, even if all they've done is gone to school. If they haven't been a part of an actual station, it's hard to say, oh, here's my experience. But with WNZR, I always felt like I had a couple of extra years of experience in my pocket, which was awesome to be able to set up, you know, make other connections. And it looked really nice on my resume. And so I think that was a huge win for me professionally, was to say, yeah, the college I went to, they let me actually, you know, do work there. I wasn't just a student learning. I was actually a part of the radio station.
So Judah, was there anything that you didn't do while you were here?
Oh man, that's a great question. I don't think so. And that was the thing. I mean, I just learned adaptability because I had to learn everything and I had to get somewhat competent in everything. And like, even though they annoyed me in the moment, those interviews with good old Mayor Matt Starr that took me 2 hours to edit, like I see how learning how to do that has helped me with like podcasts, or just like even editing videos and getting the audio right for that. And so it's just like learning how to like get uncomfortable with doing different things, like, oh, I don't want to actually do this. But when you're actually forced to do it and you learn how to do it, it pushes you and you can get even better at something you never would have expected to be good at.
And you never know where God's going to put you, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
We are talking with 4 members of the River Radio team. We have Josh Hooper, class of 2002, Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, 2024 grad, and Judah Keith, recent 2025 grad. So guys, we're going to go around the room here in our little teams recording. But tell us how you were involved at WNZR while you were a student, and can you share a memory from your time and a lesson learned? So positions that you held, things you did, because some of that you've talked about, but a memory and a lesson learned. And Josh, we'll start with you, Hooper.
Yeah, so I was a sports broadcaster almost immediately, ended up being the sports director, and I was also on the morning thing. And then my senior year, I was the student director. And I somewhere in there, I don't think I wasn't production director, but I was like an assistant or something. I was doing production all the time. So like I said in a previous clip, I learned how to do everything. One memory I had was during a Lifeline fundraiser. It was one of those God moment afternoons where we were just seeing generosity. But we weren't close. He bursts into the radio station in tears because of everything that's happening. And I happened to be the first person he saw, and we hugged, and we had never even high-fived before. Like, it was awkward. It was so weird. But I was glad to be there for him. It was just one of those things where we were such a team and such a family, and that community still supports NZR so well. And then the lesson I learned, Marcy, I don't know if you'll remember this or not, but it was a hard lesson for me, but it was a lesson I absolutely had to learn. I think it was between the 2 years I was sports director, and you were making us try out for our positions again. And I was just beside myself. Like, I'm the sports director. What do you mean I have to try out for this again? And you showed me that nothing is given, everything is earned. And I had to earn my place again, because that's how it is in the real world. And that has served me very well in my career to this point. And I hated it in the moment, but doggone, you were right. Like, most of the time. So
thank you for that. Okay, Josh Pollock, jobs you did, memory, and a lesson you've learned.
Yeah, I was mostly on the morning thing. So I think I did that 2 years. I don't remember if I did a third or not. I helped out with the video team running sports broadcasting. I was a part of the summer team for, I think, 3 summers. I think that was all that I did, was all of that. One of my favorite memories, man, there's so many, was actually during the Food for the Hungry, the first year that I helped, and I did the shopping cart derby. And I got partnered with a guy named John King, who was just like Thor. And here I am, this like 5'6", like kind of pudgy guy, and we have to run this mile against all these media team members. And I remember being so competitive still that I was like, we've got to win some trophies. And I don't know how I kept pace with him, but I remember getting to the finish line and just collapsing on the ground because I was so out of breath from running that. But it was still a highlight of just really cool to see. Just that event in itself was awesome. And then one of the lessons that I learned is just the importance of being in the community. I know that's something that I preach here all the time, is actively serving and finding ways to serve the community that you're listening to and showing up for them. And I've seen that, and I always bring you guys up as a reference, actually, when I talk about that, of the amount of board meetings that you guys go to, and the amount of different things that you guys get involved with that go well beyond outside of a normal 9 to 5, but it makes a difference. And I think you've seen that in the community support of the radio station. And I saw that even when I was a student, is it's important to not just talk about being local, but actually weaving yourself into the fabric of what that community really is. And I think you guys have done that. And I've always tried to remember that in everything that I do here. How are we serving our listener? How are we getting involved and making something that the community cares about, is a lesson I will always take with me.
Marcy, I'm going to butt in real quick because I have to go, but I have a way better story, and it's going to take like 30 seconds. All right.
Go ahead.
It was during a Lifeline fundraiser, and we were on a farm, and I don't know how we got there or why, but all I know is there was a goat in front of me. And
it was at the fairgrounds.
Okay,
we were at
great.
the Knox County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Wherever it was, a stinking goat was in my face. And so if a certain number of people gave a certain amount, we were going to make people milk a goat. I'd never touched a goat, and you made me milk it. And I milked it into a cup, and then I drank it because more people gave more money. It was warm goat milk, and I'm looking at the goat, eye contact with the goat while I'm drinking the milk. And I have never done it since then, and I never will. And I can't believe what you did to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I remember sitting there going, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
For this conversation today, that's why.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, before you head out, just real quick, what is your advice? Because you have definitely we are so proud of you, Mr. Hooper, and all that you have done. And you have now poured into the lives of so many people who are in this field of media that we are in. So what is your advice for students who are currently studying in communication and the media field?
I mean, it's the same advice you gave me my freshman year. Learn everything. Learn how to do everything. And you said it in this conversation because you never know where God is going to lead you. And so if you know how to do video, guess what? You can get a job doing video, even if radio is where you want to be, or vice versa. And that's what I experienced myself. My first job, I mentioned, it was news. I didn't like that, but I knew how to do it. And so I got a job. And then that God used that to open the doors. And then I was able to get to a place where he could really use me. And that's my advice. Just be open to everything. Learn how to do it, even if you don't think you'll like it. The more tools you have in the tool belt, the better. Because as a person who hires people now, that's who I'm looking for. That's why Mike Basko's here. That's why Judah Keith is here. That's why Josh Pollock is here, because they are more than one dimensional. They know how to do everything. And we need people like that in this industry.
Well, thank you. I know you have to go. Just want to say, God bless you for what you are doing. We're so excited to see what God is doing with your ministry that started with just one radio station, right? And now all of these signals spanning all across our Buckeye State. So God bless you, my friend. It's so good to talk to you and see you.
You too, Marcy. Thanks. And guys, I'll see you in the hallways.
We're having fun today sharing with some of our former DJs and staff members here at WNZR MVNU grads. We have Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, just recent grad here in 2025. Well, Josh shared with us about his jobs and a lesson he's learned and some memories. So recent grads, it's time for you to share. So you're up, Mike. Jobs that you've had, a memory and a lesson.
All right. So I was an on-air DJ for several years. I think for 2 years plus the afternoon drive I did my senior year. And then I was on leadership team for 2 years, going out and doing events. I also worked as part of the Lake Home Viewer newspaper leadership team. And then I was also kind of Joe's like last minute call for if he needed an extra guy who could run camera for sports and stuff. So did all of that. One of my favorite memories from my time at WNZR was going on all of the trips that we took, whether that was to Momentum, whether that was to CMBU. We had a ton of fun. And not only did we like get to make cool connections with people in the field, but we also had a ton of fun together, just growing closer. And like we had all sorts of fun inside jokes from every single trip. And I'll go into one specifically. My first year at CMBU, there were 4 of us guys sharing a hotel room. And so we're all having fun, goofing around. And we wake up the next morning to the national anthem playing really loud in our room. And we're like, what is going on? And it turns out that one of us, Dylan Elliott, decided to make that his alarm. And I just hear one of the other guys just like mumbling under his breath. He's like, oh man, that's one heck of an alarm. And we're like, Dylan, why'd you pick the national anthem? He's like, man, it's the only song that wakes me up in the morning. And so it got to be a whole thing. It was so funny. And there were just so many stories like that throughout all of those trips that were a ton of fun. And as far as a lesson I learned, I think one of the big things is just don't be afraid to, try some things and test your own limits. Sometimes I can be somebody who's a little bit, underconfident in my own abilities. But WNZR really pushes you out of your comfort zone and doesn't allow you to stay too comfortable, which scared me sometimes, but was actually really good for me. So that I could learn how to do different things that maybe I didn't feel comfortable doing, whether that was, taking callers for contests or talking to people during Lifeline or doing different sorts of things, going out into the community and meeting people. And it was a really good way for me to get out of that comfort zone and feel like, yeah, I actually can handle more than I think. And so I think that was a huge lesson I learned while I was there.
We are talking with WNZR and MVNU alumni today, talking about their time here, sharing some memories and lessons learned. It's time for Judah Keith, class of 2025. What different jobs did you have?
Let me think here. I was on summer team. That was right after my freshman year, and then I was on the leadership team. I was the production assistant, I think, until senior year, right?
I think you just had it kind of almost all 4 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I did that. I was sportscasting all 4 years. I was morning show with you for I think a year and a half. And then I was
Yeah.
on the afternoon drive with Joe, my senior year. So just a lot of different roles, a lot of events, so many I can't even remember them all. And I'd say like favorite memory I can't share over the interviews. So I'll just say like in general, anytime Ricky Geyer, who was one of my best friends and classmates, or like Mike said, Dylan Elliott. I mean, we have so many Dylan Elliott stories we could share for hours. Um, and I'd say just my biggest encouragement is it's going to sound super cliche and churchy, but trust God. Because I remember having a conversation with you around this time of year. We were driving down to Nashville for CMBU, and I was like, Marcy, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like I had so much anxiety and uncertainty about the future. I was thinking about maybe I'd come back for my master's. I was like worried I was going to graduate and just have no sense of direction in my life. And since that moment, like genuinely, God has opened so many doors for me with friends and community, and having an opportunity to work here and get to work with JP and to do so many cool and fun things. So just like if you really put your faith in God and you really follow his steps, it'll work out. You just need to relax and enjoy the present.
We are talking today with 3 MVNU and WNZR graduates, just sharing. We're getting ready for a big alumni reunion coming up on Saturday. So it's been fun for me to reconnect with so many former staff members, but also former co-host. So I want to ask you guys, what does it mean to you to be part of a legacy that is celebrating 39 years? And we're going to start with you, Josh Pollock, class of 2014.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that immediately comes to mind is just pride. I mean, even back then, you could see what an impact WNZR had in the community. And so seeing that continue and knowing that you played a small part of that legacy is just really cool. I still, to this day, talk it up and hype you guys up and talk about how awesome that program is to anybody that'll listen to me. Because it really is a special place, and I take a lot of pride in the fact that I got to be a part of the Big Blue Crew.
How about you, Mike? Mike Basko, class of 2024.
Yeah, I think it's just really cool to be a part of something that has been, sustaining for so long. And I think people who might not completely understand what WNZR is all about, it's like, oh, it's just a college radio station. It's like, no, it's like a real radio station where we're not getting funding from the school. We're getting funded from real people in the community who know that WNZR is making a difference. And the fact that it's been around for 39 years, supported by people in the community who love WNZR and believe in the ministry, is just so cool, because it's like, it reaches not a huge area, but the people in it are so faithful to the station. And it just goes to show that it's so amazing how much God is using the station to be able to do good and to be able to encourage people that it can keep going year in and year out. And I mean, we're coming up here on year 40. That's pretty awesome.
I know. I'm really excited about that. All right, Judah, part of the legacy of 39 years in ministry.
Honestly, it's just really humbling. The fact that like I got the chance to be involved. I mean, like Food for the Hungry is one of my favorite things. Like I loved it so much, and just like getting to see and learn that it's not about you, and that like you can play a bigger role than anything you would have imagined. You can be a part of something like bigger than yourself, is something you and Joe preach a lot, and that's so true. And it really just gives you a perspective that I think is so important in life, to pour into others. And so it's really humbling, and I'm just really grateful to have been a part of it.
We are talking today with some former members of our WNZR staff, MVNU graduates. We have Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, class of 2025. They all are now with River Radio, which is so exciting that you guys get to connect on a regular basis. So what is your advice for students who are currently studying in the communication and media field? I want to start with you, Judah, because you were just there a few months ago graduating. So what's your advice to all of these kids back here who probably have the anxiety that you had?
Oh man, drop the ego. Cause like, I think it's really easy. We're naturally like, oh yeah, I'm top dog. Or maybe like you're underconfident, and that can create like certain like insecurities when you're facing constructive criticism or stuff like that. Embrace that. Anytime. I think, what does Joe say? Like, feedback is a gift. Feedback is a gift.
Yes.
It's so true. Like, constructive criticism isn't there to make you feel bad. It's there to help you grow and to develop as a person and as a professional. So be open and don't shut it off. Like, any way somebody's going to help you, or I guess I should say offer advice to help you grow, like, be willing to listen to it and to try to apply it, because you never know what someone's words could pour into you and just help you like grow to a place where you never really thought you could be.
Mike, how about you? Advice?
I'd say really take advantage of connections that you make, because really in broadcasting as a whole, it's all who you know. If you can make connections with people, that will go such a long way. And that's what another really cool thing about WNZR is, not only do you kind of automatically make connections, but you also get opportunities to make connections with, you know, radio people and broadcasters all throughout the country at some of these events. And for me, it got me to make some of these connections, which set me up really well after I graduated. And even though I lived in a different state than WNZR, I lived in Virginia, and so I would go back and forth and didn't get to work a summer. I got to do a summer internship, and that set me up to get a job. So just being able to make those connections and being able to, as well as, you know, put yourself out there and try to meet new people, go for that internship, work a summer, do something like that. It's going to really help you and set you up well with the connections that are available to you.
All right, Pollock, what is your advice? You've been in the business a little longer than these guys.
Yeah, I get it. I'm old. I would say
I'm so much older than you.
Well, Judah reminds me all the time. Literally today, he asked if I'm 40 yet or whatever. My piece of advice is just to continue to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That can look like a lot of different things. I think I would leave it at a base level of just take advantage of everything the station has to offer. Do the video team, work a summer, work an event, as many of them as you can, honestly. Those are where I not only learned skills that I feel like I've carried into my career here, but it also helped me really build strong relationships with my classmates. And those were some of my best friends while I was at MVNU, and still to this day are. I still hang out with some of them. And so I would say take advantage of that. If it scares you, you should do it.
We are having a great conversation today with some of our alumni from MVNU and WNZR. Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, class of 2025. Okay, I know we've shared some memories and some stories, but now it's time for the crazy stories. So who has a crazy story that they want to share from being here on the second floor of Founders Hall? Right now I'm back in the conference room, as you can probably tell. But what's a crazy story? Anybody have one?
I have one, but I don't know if I should share it.
Can we share the Dylan Elliott?
Yeah, I have like
Brown
3 or
story?
4, but I'll let you guys go if you've got one.
You go, Mike. You go.
Okay. So I already mentioned Dylan Elliott.
Yes.
Classmate of mine, graduated in 2024, good friend of both of ours. And we love Dylan, but sometimes he just does things that, you know, make us laugh. And that's amazing. There was one time in particular when this was a couple years ago. It was like the NFL offseason. And so
I know a story.
And so Joe's teaching a class, and all of a sudden there's just this shriek on the second floor of Founders Hall, and nobody knows what happened. And so we're like, did somebody like fall into the toilet in the bathroom? Like, what is going on? And it turns out that the Browns had signed Deshaun Watson, and Dylan was on the toilet checking his notifications, and he let out a scream. Watson! And he was so excited. Like, we were scared that something had happened to him, but it turns out he was just so excited to see that the Browns had signed Deshaun Watson. And sorry, JP, but we know how that ended up.
No, it's pain.
Yeah. Okay. Pollock, you got to tell a crazy story. I know we probably have a lot of them together.
I'll share two. One is
Okay.
the one that I don't know if you'll want to use on air, but I
Okay.
don't know if you remember this or not. And then I'll share one that's pretty safe.
Okay.
I don't remember what exactly we were delivering, but it was you, me, and Sonny. And you know exactly what I'm going to say here. But we were in the back of Big Blue and we were driving around. I want to say it was Christmas gifts. And we were driving.
They were Christmas gifts.
They were Christmas
I
gifts.
still tell
And-
this story. I
and
still tell this
you-
story.
You and Sonny were in the front seat, and I was the guy that got out of the back of Big Blue and ran stuff inside. And we pull up to this nursing home, and I go in with this giant basket, and I walk up to the counter, and I go up and I say the person's name, and everybody there is eating like lunch or whatever. Everybody in that place turns and looks at me, and the person that I was talking to just goes, "They passed away." And I'm just sitting there holding, and I walk out of this building, and it is just pouring down rain. And I get back in the back of Big Blue, just soaking wet, still carrying this basket. And Marcy's like, "Why didn't you deliver it?" And I said, "She died." And we lost
But
it in the back of Big Blue.
It wasn't
No,
like a recent passing. He'd
it
been
had been
gone
like-
for several years. So you were like, you really need to
Rehashing
update your file.
Yeah. Oh, it was horrible. And Sonny just loses it.
We laughed so long. I think we sat there. We had to sit there for like 10 minutes because I couldn't drive. I was laughing so hard.
Just horrible. There's also the story about where Mac farted in the studio, where the power had gone out. We had a massive storm, and so power had gone out all across the county. And
That
so
was
Sonny
the big
and I,
derecho. Like,
Yeah.
Like no
Like-
one had power for like a week.
and it was in the middle of summer, so it was super hot out. So we
Yeah.
were going on air. We were reporting where cooling stations were, and Sonny and I were doing this. And Marcy, I think the Centerburg Old Time Farming Festival was going on. So
Yep.
you guys were out there. We were doing live reporting till like 4:00, and then somebody took. I think Joe came back for the afternoon drive. But Sonny and I are sitting, and in the middle of this break, we just lock eyes with the most disgusting smell we have ever smelled. And we're looking at each other like, "Was that you? Like, what is that?" And we get off of the mic, and I remember going, "What is that smell? Oh my gosh, that smells awful." And one of the guys that we worked with, Matt, comes walking in real slow. And if you knew Matt, he's this crazy, soft-spoken, like really introverted guy. And he just walks in and goes, "Sorry, guys, I thought that it would carry out with me." He just lost it. Smelled horrible.
Oh my goodness.
Still to this day. But the safe story that I was going to share real quick is when we did one of our leadership team retreats, and Chris Runyon and I convinced you to let us have like recreation time where we could go and we could do whatever. We'd get like an hour break between doing stats and planning meetings and everything. And so we chose to go fishing. And we ended up going fishing at like 1 or 2 a.m., knowing we had a full day the next day of meeting and counting stats and the whole nine. And we ended up going fishing at this random lake, taking the station vehicle, driving it through like Hocking Hills area. And then I don't think we got back till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Because you got
from doing that.
lost.
We
You
got lost because we
and-
had no signal on our phone, so we couldn't pull up GPS to get back to the cabin. We also realized we had never got the address to the cabin, so we were just going off visual sight to a place we had been
because
to
you didn't
once.
tell me where you were going. I didn't know this until like after you graduated. or
Yeah, we
something.
just
You're like,
totally
"Oh,
left
yeah,
in the middle of the
remember
night.
that?"
We just left and took the car, took the station car, and then went. And then we didn't get back till like 5. Didn't catch a single thing. I think we lost some of our equipment, and then we just slept on the couches in the living room, and everybody woke us up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. We had slept maybe an hour and a half total.
So many
Awesome.
great stories. So many great stories. We are talking with some MVNU and WNZR alumni today. Josh Pollock, class of 2014, Mike Basko, class of 2024, and Judah Keith, 2025. So guys, if you could come to the reunion on Saturday, who would you like to see? And you can name more than one person if you want to.
Marcy Rinehart.
You don't have to name me, but thank you. But I
answer,
bet you
good
would like
answer.
to see Dylan, right?
Oh man,
Would love to see Dylan.
Ricky Geyer. Oh, Dana Hicks. I would love to see Dana Hicks. I haven't seen that guy in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, how about
That
you?
would be great. That would be great. Judah and I overlapped for a lot of our time at WNZR, and so we know a lot of the same people. And so I would also second everybody that he said. I'm trying to think if there's somebody else who I can, think of off the top of my head.
And
If I think of somebody, a lot of them.
somebody that just graduated with you, Jonathan Langdon. Are you guys roommates?
We are roommates.
Apartment
Yeah.
mates?
So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we live here now in Gahanna, and he's working with OH Report and
Mhm.
doing all kinds of cool things
Doing
with
lots of
broadcasting.
sports.
So, yeah, he is on the move all over the place. I don't see him much during the week because he is all over Ohio, but he's doing awesome stuff too. And so I would add him to the list if I didn't see him every day. So,
True. True. Okay. Pollock, how about you? Who would you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see any of the people that were in my graduating class. I still talk to Runyon, so I'd love to see him. He's hilarious. I think somebody I'd really like to see would be Sonny Panzica.
Yes.
So I did the morning show with him for 2 years, I think, for a summer and then a whole school year. And I just loved working with him. And so I know he lives here in Columbus, and I've tried to connect with him a couple times. We've talked on like Facebook and stuff, but actually getting a chance to sit down and just catch up. Some of my favorite memories are just goofing off in studio or us going and doing a delivery drop off and just having a time. We're awesome.
We are wrapping up our conversation with some WNZR and MVNU alumni. Josh Pollock graduated in 2014, Mike Basko in 2024, and Judah Keith in 2025. Guys, how can we pray for you? That it could be personal, it could be there at the station with your job, but how can we pray for you? Pollock, you start us off.
Yeah, I think on my end, just praying for the nonprofit my wife and I are a part of. Her family helped start it, so I kind of married into it. But obviously, just a lot of people in that situation that just have a lot of different struggles. And so it's been really eye-opening for me personally and spiritually challenging as well. So just praying for that downtown community, just that we would continue to be able to provide resources that really help to continue to make an impact, that we would find new creative ways to continue to feed people, and that we would be able to kind of show Jesus to them through our actions.
Absolutely. What's the name of the nonprofit?
It is Community Life Ministries.
That's wonderful. Okay, Mike Basko.
I would just say, just continued prayers that I follow after, where God is taking me in life. I've been on the move a lot the past few years, living in Virginia, but going to school in Ohio. And then I did an internship in Nashville for a summer, then went back to Virginia. Now here I am in Ohio. And so I've been on the move a lot, and I've gotten kind of used to that. But now I feel like God's going to have me here for quite some time. So just the patience to be able to, transition to this new adulthood life, but also to be able to follow in the direction that he wants me to go, and to be willing to follow after him wherever that is and whatever that is doing. So, just wisdom to be able to continue to follow that path would be great.
And Judah, how about you?
Man, one of my big prayers when I was graduating was like, because I was moving into a season of like, you're getting out of the house, you're on your own. And I really prayed for like a church community, and it always been one of my passions is to like help out with some sort of like youth organization, because that was an age that I remember really struggling through, like my teenage years. And it's an age I really like impacting because that's such an impressionable age and I have like a passion. And like those prayers have been answered. I did an internship this summer and I'm still like involved with the church and helping out. So if you can just pray for like just continued wisdom for me to be able to pour into those kids' lives and have a positive impact. And just that God would continue to bless that in my life and continue to grow that season.
Well, guys, thank you so much for taking so much time. I know that you're busy. Life is always busy. I understand that. And you lived it here with us. And I just want to thank you for this time. Thank you for sharing some great memories. Thank you for being part of the history and the legacy of WNZR. I have so many precious memories, so many crazy memories with each of you. But I just want you to know that Joe and I both are so very proud of you for following God's leading in your life. So proud that you are taking what you've learned here at 800 Martinsburg Road and you're putting it into practice every day. I know there are literally thousands of people that are being impacted because you said yes to God's leading in your life. And I just want you to know we're so thankful for that and we're so proud of you. So thank you so much for being part of our alumni fun and discussion. We appreciate each of you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you, Marcy.